You blew it, Donald. If you'd shown Americans leadership and empathy when it really mattered in the past year, you'd have been re-elected. Instead, you failed them, spectacularly badly. And now you slink off as a gutless, graceless, sore loser. How pathetic. Shame on you. Now obviously those aren't my words. In fact, I would have probably chose the exact opposite of those. Because this is a tweet, as you can see here, from Piers Morgan, who I gotta tell you, honestly, over the last couple of years, this man has done so much flip-flopping. Like when it comes to any opinion, and we're going to have a look at them today, but when it comes to opinions, honestly, I don't think he has any. Deep down, I really don't think there's any substance there. Because as you can see, right, this original tweet was from January of 2021, where he's pretty negative towards Donald Trump. But if we start by going forward in time and having a look at this tweet, because he just put this up after the election, and he says wokeism is gone, identity politics is gone, virtue signalling is gone, and he says that Trump's massive win was a total repudiation of all of the far left's progressive crap. And he says that common sense will now return to a world that has gone nuts. And he says, thank God for that. So it kind of seems as if he's now praising Trump. In fact, he called it a massive win. But like I said, that wasn't always the case, because this man right here, Piers Flip-Flop Morgan, like I said, he just goes back and forth. So you got this one here from 2023. We're going to work backwards in time, because they really get worse as they go. And then there's one tweet as well, right at the end. There's one tweet which explains why all of this has happened. And it really does wrap it up nicely. But he says so much chatter about Governor Ron DeSantis being socially awkward, with no personality or humour. But he says that he spent the time with him recently, and he thought that he was personable, smart, direct, funny, as well as confident and laser focused on doing his job and winning. And he says, if I were Trump, I'd be very worried. Now obviously we know how that panned out for him. And I don't just want to go straight to the shoe thing, but if you zoom into DeSantis' shoes there, I gotta tell you, that heel, it's looking pretty high. But, you know, I don't really like infighting, so we're not going to go there. Then we got this one here, again from 2023. And he's writing a column in the paper, and it says, if the GOP want to beat Biden in 2024, they need winner DeSantis. Not even Ron DeSantis. Just winner DeSantis as their nominee, not loser Trump. Like, he was backing a horse here, and he really chose the wrong one. He goes on to say it's over for Trump, even if he refuses to accept it. And he says the Ron DeSantis train, I mean, that's quite cringe to be fair. He says it's steaming towards GOP nomination, and very possibly the presidency. And that was in reply to this post here. And it looks like it was from some lefty, which, I mean, it kind of looks like he's agreeing with him. Because it says that 2/3 of Americans don't want Trump or Biden. And that Trump support is falling among Republicans, but DeSantis is up. And that's kind of the theme here. Basically, Piers Morgan's a glory supporter. You know, like those people who claim to support a football team, but they don't support them until they're in the final or like the semi-finals, or they're in the news or something like that. On a normal day, you can't find these supporters, but something big happens, they're there. Guaranteed every time. Then we got this one here. Like, you imagine doing this. He says, it's over for Trump. This is 2022. Calling him Trumpty Dumpty. Like, absolute muppet. Called him Trumpty Dumpty. Now he's going to sit there and praise a Trump win. It really makes you sick. Like that, honestly. There's a few more that we got to go through today. But I will just say that something I've learned since starting YouTube, and it's been a good couple of years now, but when it comes to your favourite political commentators, I got to tell you, just watch them with one eye open, alright? Like, you can still watch the content, you can still like it, you can still enjoy what they put out. But just keep one eye on them. Because I gotta tell you, once you start noticing things, it gets really difficult to unnotice it. A bit like Piers Morgan here, so we'll go back to that. Because he says that it's time for the GOP to dump Trump the Grump and go with DeSantis. Honestly, it really was quite full on. And over the next 4 years as well, you're going to see Piers Morgan come out and praise Trump. And what we look at today, just keep all of this in mind. When he comes out and says that he likes Trump, just keep all of this in your mind. Because he says, please concede, Mr. President. Concede. No, get out of it. The longer you don't, the more embarrassing this gets. And he says, Biden won easily. And he says it's over. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of weeks, you see this particular line backtracked by Piers Morgan quite a lot. Like, Biden won easily. Like, what kind of a sentence is that? You imagine tweeting that or saying that? Like, honestly, that's just so cringe. Then we got this one here as well. It says, "Dear Donald, it's over, you lost, suck it up. Don't be the biggest loser. Be the guy who fought hard, came up short and left with dignity. Your friend, Piers." This guy right here. I started pointing at the screen with my finger then. Obviously you can't see that. He is as slimy as it gets. That really is flip-flop. Like, calls him his friend, then goes on a multi-year rant, then loops back saying, "Oh, you know, this Donald fella, he's a good fella." He can't do that. It just, honestly, that's not how it works. Then we got this one here from 2016. So this was when Trump won originally. And he says, "One consequence of a Trump win would be the sheer volume of smug political experts." A bit like Piers Morgan, I'm guessing. And he says that they would then look as stupid as they say he is. So not only is he flip-flopping on his opinion, he's now moaning at political experts who basically do exactly the same. Like, you've got to have a consistent set of opinions. Otherwise, like, you basically don't have anything. But this one right here, this explains exactly why he's doing this. Because he says, "I get very detailed analytics for each column." And he says, "My one on Meghan Markle last week got over 1.3 million views." And he says that Trump consistently draws big numbers of views. So what that basically means is that however he mentions Trump, he knows he's just going to get people talking about him. And, like, on one hand, he's a journalist, right? So it is kind of his job to spread the information. But on the other hand, he can still do this and keep a consistent set of opinions. You know, he can still write a Trump article, and he can still do a Meghan Markle article. But if he's just going to sit there, call him, where was it, as a friend? Yeah, this is it. If he's going to sit there and call him his friend, whilst also calling him Trumpty Dumpty, whilst calling him a loser. Because, for example, we've got stuff like this one. He says Democrats, this is after the win. He says Democrats are delaying the most important stage of grief, which is acceptance. So he's now almost gloating in the Trump win. When if you go back in time, like, what was he, back in DeSantis? Trumpty Dumpty? Loser? Now he's going on about grief. No. He doesn't get to do that. But let me know what you think as well. Do you think people like him are to be trusted? Where it seems that their loyalty is there one day but gone the next? I don't know. For me personally, I just think, like, even if I disagree with someone, at least if they're consistent, like, you know, I kind of appreciate that. Like a consistent set of core values. It's pretty good. But people like this one, I'm not so sure. And instead of myself having the last word of this video, I'll let Trump say it himself.
This country has gone crazy.